If none, we're going to report the standing committees.
There
Okay. Go ahead.
we may need a public utilities meeting next week. If I talk to,
6, we're going to be first.
6 o'clock, I'll go first,
Okay.
yeah. We'll talk to Tom Bellish first and see, we need to talk about gas. That's gonna be
Okay.
our next
We'll,
thing, so,
we'll do finance and legislation to follow.
okay.
Any other committees? Okay, we've got 3 pieces of legislation, 2 are ordinances, and 1's a resolution. Is there any questions or comments on legislation? Unfinished business?
So I have on a couple weeks ago, it was a couple weeks before we finished up session for the summer, I mentioned Ritter about a Facebook post. So I did contact him personally, we talked it out, we made, right of it, I just wanted you all to know, okay? So that was that. Also, have you gone by 6th Street where the landscaping business is? Anybody?
I have. Couple.
Is it a driveway?
week.
I just wanna know, is that a driveway?
Doesn't,
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It's a driveway. It's gravel.
it looks like a parking lot.
What is a parking lot? They're allowed.
On a residential lot,
If
you're
you
allowed
read
to
the
put?
ordinance, any type of gravel lot connected to a driveway, you're allowed to park there.
They are abiding by the ordinance.
Yes.
That's all I mean, I get it, we might not, the intent may have not been to have a whole parking lot, but when you go by the ordinance, and I've tried to explain this, our ordinance basically says, if you wanna tear all the grass out of your front yard and put gravel there, and park cars there,
You're
you
allowed.
can, so they are within.
Well, it just, and I'm just gonna say, like, when he came and spoke, cause I did listen to the meeting again, he said, I'm gonna dig it out nicely, and I'm gonna put gravel, I'm gonna make it look nice. To me, it's not dug out, maybe just dug out grass.
He did comply with the ordinance, though.
I did
That
do
is
that.
what I
I
will
get
say.
that,
I
but-
mean,
Because I was there when he was digging, put it down. I mean, if you wanna go in the dictionary, you're probably used to seeing a driveway going from the street back to a garage. And you,
Well, it has somewhat of a driveway there already.
It's got an
Yeah.
entranceway,
There is
absolutely.
an approach there.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there is.
There's an approach. He dug out around the approach, put gravel there. That's what the ordinance says.
Up to the sidewalk, didn't he? Or
There's-
pretty
Yeah.
close.
It doesn't matter how
As long as
big
it's
it is
grass.
or anything.
No.
Okay.
that,
I would've, when he said driveway,
you were thinking
that
something
is
different.
not what I thought. So, I
But,
mean, I went past there, and you have 6 trucks and a red car. It
So
is
you're
a
on gravel.
residential. That's fine, if I'm just saying, to me,
I'm
when
not
you said a
defending, I'm just
driveway.
stating in general, we
Yeah.
abide by ordinance here, and that does fall into the guidelines of the ordinance, he is following that.
may I make a comment? Years ago, when that was brought up, we had, the house sticks in my mind, Bob, you'll probably remember. We had a house on Section Street down where Oregon comes, and they were driving on the dirt, and then when they went from the dirt to the street, there was a mud path all the way up the street. And that's where the council at that time came up with the ordinance, as long as you put gravel, some permanent fixture.
It has to be a hard surface,
Right.
where
It could
gravel, grindings.
Right,
Yeah.
right, so,
Well, that coincides without,
You remember
without
that?
contaminating our wastewater treatment.
Right, you remember that?
Our stormwater.
that was that greenhouse, and he drove on and off the grass, and mud was on his street all over the place, and then
Yeah, cause at one point, we had like 10 steps we had to follow for stormwater. And one of them was, you had to wash the fire trucks on a pad that recirculated the water.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whatever happened to all those steps that we had to do, but nothing else has come up
I'm gonna spin before
regarding
my
that.
time.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
back in when Terry was the mayor, and I think, I forget who was in charge of stormwater. Had to be Frank. But yeah, there was like 10 steps we had to follow, but, nothing's really ever come about that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Lori, the only thing would be to change the ordinance if there was something you weren't happy with. You know what I mean?
I'm fine, I mean, if nobody's gonna complain about it, I'm just, my personal opinion, I just think when I was explaining the driveway, he was gonna put a driveway, he was gonna dig it nicely and put a driveway, that's not exactly what I anticipated, or envisioned, yes. But if the neighbors don't care and they're not gonna complain, I wouldn't want it in my neighborhood, just saying,
There is
you
someone
know?
that's complaining.
Yeah.
Tyler Toporser said he put 0 gravel down, he simply scraped up the grass and to the gravel that was there decades ago.
I will tell you, I don't know, it's not my expertise, it's definitely yours.
Well, I'm again,
There's,
I'm not going with anything other than our ordinance, so I'm not
there's
saying.
like a slight dusting, honestly, and he said he must have dug grass, you know.
Well, we
but
just don't,
it's-
our
it's a
ordinance
slight
doesn't have a
dusting.
standard to say there has to be 6
Four
inches of
lane.
grass, there has to be 8
But
inches.
what I'm just saying
you know
is,
what I
when he
mean?
sat
Yeah.
here that day, he specifically said, and we could pull it up, I am gonna dig it out and do a really nice driveway. And we can go with what we said before, how we all consider nice, but I've seen people add a nice gravel path on the side of a driveway. That's not what was done. And there's not much gravel on there. So, I mean, it's just, when you're told one thing and something else is done, that's where it gets discouraging. That's where I get like, I'm trying to do things and better the city, and even like with these front yard gardens, and it's very frustrating, because he sat here and told us what he was gonna do, and it's not what he told us he was gonna do, at all.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing, I'm just stating all
get
that I
it,
asked
he
here,
followed
the ordinance. That was when he came in,
Yeah,
my anticipation was just to follow the ordinance. That's what we have, for everyone to follow, and there.
but even that driveway's not even dug out and made any better, it's more it's just grass that goes back there.
I'll be honest, I have not seen it, so I can't.
I mean, we should all maybe take a drive and just kind of take a look at it. And would you like to live across the street from that? I mean, if it's considered residential, that's what I think. If it wasn't considered residential, I'd have no problem with it. But if I had to live across the street from 6 trucks and a car in a grass,
I get it,
I'm
but
with
our ordinance doesn't specify that. In a residential area, you can,
and how far can it be, it's right by the fire hydrant. Is there an ordinance for that? How
It's not
close
on,
can you
it's
be?
not on a public
road,
right of way.
yeah,
So you
Fire
can be as
truck
close to?
fire truck parks on the street.
Right,
When they go to the hydrant, they're on the street, they attach the hydrant there, they don't go on people's property.
right, so it doesn't matter how
It's
close it is to the
that
fire
what you're
hydrant.
talking about.
I
doesn't
think the
matter.
more concern is on the street, how
When
close
it's on
you
the
park-
street,
park
because that's
there.
where the fire truck
Yeah,
parks,
right.
on the street.
Yeah.
again, since this started, my concern has only been with them following the ordinance, and that's what we have to go off of. If there was an excavator there were trailers there, those are no longer there, those violated the ordinance. Parking on grass violated the ordinance. There is no more excavators, there is no more trailer that I know of, and they are on gravel, so we can't really, unless you're willing to change the ordinance, we can't really ask them to do something that's outside of the parameters of what the ordinance says.
That's okay, I'm just saying, we were told a driveway, that's what we were told, so you consider that a driveway? I mean, that's a driveway, that's what you, like, I mean, he sat here and said he was gonna do a driveway, a nice driveway, dig it out and make it really nice, cause you said just put down, what is it that you?
Grindings?
Just put down he said no. He said, I'm gonna dig it out and I'm gonna put down gravel.
Which you could use either, which grindings are just as good as gravel, so it's one or the other,
But if
you
you
know what I
go
mean?
look, there's hardly anything down.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, it's when people tell you one thing and something else is done, it's very frustrating. And we were all okay with it, as far as the driveway, but I'm not okay with it. So, that's just my opinion.
But what I don't think we have to be okay with it. If it's following what it says, I think him coming to council and communicating and talking to our council people and talking to code enforcement and talking to our administration and doing everything that we've asked him to do, I don't know that because he's following our, I don't need to even know if we need to be okay with it unless you wanna change the ordinance.
Yeah, I didn't realize we had an ordinance that you could put that big of a lot in a yard.
Doesn't,
We
it's not
have, we
specified,
have.
Yeah, there's no,
other-
there's size, there's no specification, so. Short of changing the ordinance, they're in compliance, you know what I mean?
Maybe we could have a kid just drive.
Okay, is there anything else? Lori,
Yeah,
got
The
anything
front
else?
door could be.
Would this be?
Correct.
would this be
Nothing?
under-
Okay, any other unfinished business?
I just wanna, just so we look at it.
Sure.
Just real quick, so I've been going through a lot of, ordinances, and Cleveland Heights had an ordinance that we kind of looked at and took some things out of and added some things, so in front of, this is just for you guys to look over before committee next week. Just kind of honing into some specifics, there's one about the vegetable edible gardens, and there's one that goes in about the compost bins too. So maybe it's a starting point where we could add,
I'm in a
take
meeting.
away, discuss
Okay.
this for next week. So just food for thought.
Yeah, and I know we had gotten from Megan too,
it's all in the back.
also food for thought, like, if we still wanna keep the gardens, do we wanna do it like adjacent to the house foundation? Like, you know, and do we wanna make it a certain percentage from the street?
Either way, it has to stay out of the right of way, which I believe is 11 feet
11
from
feet.
curb.
And then even height of plant, like, those are just things to consider, like, you know, what
Yeah,
prior than like
and
4
also,
feet or-
if you're gonna do that, you should probably look into if it's on a corner lot, making sure that it's visible from both sides. You pull up to a stop sign, you look this way, and all you're looking
It's
at is
not
garden,
blocking traffic.
right? I mean, same way we would do with a fence, has to be so far back. So if you are gonna go that route, those are probably two good things to start with.
Anything else, Mayor, under that subject? No other unfinished business, new business? Our law director's absent, our auditor's absent. Our brand-new safety director gave us a report. Anthony, you can read it here, you can read it on the floor, whatever your wishes.
I could read it here. I
Okay.
did have one point before I started this. I just wanted to say, from everybody in this city, it's not, nothing goes unnoticed, the job that Bob Benson did. We miss him dearly, so that's always gonna be something that we
You got big
reiterate
shoes
from
to
our
fill.
office. Yeah, I have big feels of shoes, cause he was awesome, so.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to work alongside all you guys as well, so thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
I just wanted to touch points on a couple of things over the summer that happened while Bob was here and I'm transitioning. There was the Nebo Grim Park beautification. I know Lori had a big deal with that. It was the 811 project. I think that turned out great. We thank everyone for their efforts and all that. The Wetmore Bridge project's officially complete. I know that makes all the citizens happy and everyone that lives in Nebo.
We get a lot of complaints about the Silverstone.
Oh, really?
We never had, we don't have Silverstone in Ohio.
Oh, no, oh, no.
They said, why did you paint it silver? I said, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I think the bridge looks
I
great.
think it does.
I do too, and I'm
We're just not used to new things.
apparently.
The splash pad at Monty Park's starting, construction now, and it should be done in pretty much the next month. It's not an official date on when it's gonna be completed, but, and then to reiterate, the 2025 resurfacing is gonna start on the 22nd. There was just a couple delays in some concrete piping that they had on Bob Way. There was some back order on that, that's why it's been a little delayed. The McKinney building on South Bridge is set to be taken down at the end of the month as well. And then working with Bill, he's provided us too with a list of different cases that are active and closed that he's worked on throughout the year of the violations that he's dealt with over the last months. We continue to work on anything that comes through our office. Our street department's done a great job all summer, cutting properties that we own, also city properties that are out of ordinance. They've had over 100 tons of asphalt patching throughout this summer, and 150 if you include the winter cold patching. They're gonna continue that grass cutting, the tree trimming, in the potholes as weather permits, and they transition into their winter periods. We have a lot of workers that we wanna just congratulate and also say that we continue to appreciate their efforts down at the wastewater plant. They're passing all their licensure exams. I think that's a great thing. They're all getting educated and they're furthering all the experience that they have down there. Our police and fire department continue their fine work every day for our city. And just the last thing, just a reminder to property owners, if you have large items or large volumes of trash, you need to call Republic to determine if you need to schedule a special pickup for such items. Our ordinance specifies that trash is not to be placed at the curb for more than 24 hours before pickup. We want special pickups, they're usually scheduled for Thursdays, so please just place those items on Wednesdays. Bill does a great job, he rides around the city, he even makes lists. If there's special pickups, he makes sure he calls Mona from Republic, she knows about all the different areas. If they don't call it in, he even goes and knocks on their door and tells them this is the proper process, how to do it, how to call in, so he does great with that. And then with fall approaching, we just wanna reiterate that we do the fall pickups and the bag pickups on Mondays, and we prefer the brown paper bags, we don't do the plastic, it has to be recyclable. That's about all I have.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Any questions?
Yeah, I got
first?
one question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, 426 Elmwood. The grass is 4 foot high in the backyard, and I turned it in to you, Bill, but I don't see nothing on here that I turned it in.
426 Elmwood,
Yeah,
that's Brenda Henderson. She's in the nursing home. I sent a letter to her nursing home.
so what do we do with the grass then in the backyard with the rats and this and that?
Well,
That the
point
neighbors are complaining about?
one, the backyard is fenced in. There's no entrance to that fence from the backyard.
That's all they do is move the front. Where the,
Once again.
You open
Ron,
up the front?
We can't let go and break her fence down.
you're not breaking her fence down.
How are we gonna get back there?
You're opening up her fence. Her
There-
fence opens up.
There's not a gate there.
Billy, how were they cutting it before, do you know?
Through the
Yeah.
backyard. They have a
They
mower
have
in
a
the
mower
backyard.
already back there.
This has been ongoing. I don't think legally.
So doesn't
I
her
don't think
daughter-
legally-
Isn't her daughter involved in this?
I have no clue.
Because she was cited into court last time, her daughter.
I have no clue about that. I don't do court cases.
That would be a thing for John, because
that's-
honestly, if the
that's
gate's
on
locked,
my-
I don't know that you could enter that. Us as the city, you'd have to ask John.
Yeah.
I don't know that we
That's not
can
my
Okay.
doing.
go beyond
Yeah,
that.
I understand the backyard is high. They cut the front, they leave the back.
Right.
They have metal out front, but if you go around and walk around the fence, there's no way to get back there without taking part of her fence down. And legally,
You'd have to find that out from John, Bill.
well,
Yeah.
I already did. Can't
Okay.
do it.
We don't have any ordinance that exempts us unless there was
Well,
maybe a hazard or something like that.
exactly. You could abate the nuisance, but you cannot go and tear somebody's fence down to get back. Yeah, I've been through that already, Ron. When you sent that to me, I don't know, like a couple, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even see it on here.
Well, because it wasn't.
You can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
And I don't think we cited the daughter just showed up to court for
Right.
the mother who was in.
It's the mother
We
who's
can't
in the
just
nursing
cite
home.
family members. She showed up on behalf of her mother.
Any other questions for our safety director? Just a couple things. I was with Billy this summer, and as far as the mattresses on the curb, Billy inquired at that time. Republic Service is supposed to write once a week. They haven't been here for, 3 weeks that time, Billy, you called them?
Well, that was, yeah, but that was, nothing against Republic, they do a very good job. But when they're short-staffed and their truck breaks down,
So the city goes through the process, but if they're not responding to our calls, it's not.
And they don't really charge us extra for those, right?
there's no extra
Yeah,
charge.
that's what I
No,
thought.
They
And-
just
and
got
It's a free
It's
pickup.
a
We're-
free pickup.
Every
We've been
Thursday.
through
We're,
this,
I know,
if
but
you remember.
we're one of the few cities that
Yeah.
they granted that to.
Just to
Every
be
Thur-
honest,
Every Thursday,
We have a
Struthers
great
gets a free
contract.
Yeah, we
pickup.
do.
and we found that out last time when it was contract time and we had some complaints, and we looked around and We waited out and there was no way possible
No
Yeah.
comparison.
to break away from that.
I agree.
And truthfully, I wish residents would know that you have to call by Wednesday to get that free service. Cause when I drive around Wednesday, I go, I.
And
mark it
as far as
down, I call
mattresses
Mona,
go, they have to be wrapped in
wrap in
plastic.
plastic, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you could buy a $2 mattress bag and put it in there, I mean, but yeah, they won't
They're
take it.
$3.98 up at
Okay,
Ace.
yeah.
I mean, I bought a lot of them and wrapped them up for people, believe
Yeah.
me.
I don't think they know that
They're unaware of it.
though. Right,
And what happens is, when I
but if they call, they would probably be told that.
What I do, Bob, is when I drive around and I mark the addresses down, and I call Mona and she goes, they're not scheduled for a pickup, okay, they got this out. And what I do is I go back, knock on their door, and explain to them, this is what you have to do for bulk pickup. I give them my card with Mona's phone number on it, 729-330-729-5513, and I said, this is who you call for bulk pickup.
Can't do any more than that.
No, so hopefully, when I reach 9,000 people, they'll all know that. So yeah, that's my theory on Wednesdays,
Yeah.
what I do.
Bill, one other question, that church at Frank and Snyder, have you,
I cited them. Yeah,
you ever heard of contact from them?
no, they live in Georgia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to get that number for you and all that, but yeah,
Okay.
no luck.
Alright. Anything else for the safety director?
Thanks for the report.
Okay, after we go into anyone wishing to address council, there'll be an executive session. Okay,
Okay.
alright. Motion adjourned,
Make a motion.
second,
Second.
caucus is adjourned.
Yeah, it's good down there, Helena.
Yeah, it came out good, huh? Thank you.
No, bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all the ones they give me.